Hey guys, welcome to the 16th C programming tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to use arrays. And an array is basically something that will allow you to store multiple variables of the same type in it. So let's just say that we wanted to create an array of integers. We could store multiple integers inside of that one integer array. So let's just go ahead right here and create an integer array. The first thing that we need to do when creating an array is write out the type of array that we're going to be making. I'm going to be making an integer array, so I'm just going to go ahead and type out int. Then I need to give a name to my array. I'm just going to go ahead and call it numbers, since we're going to be storing multiple numbers inside of this integer array, or multiple integers inside of this integer array. Then to signify that this is in fact going to be an array, I just need to put 2 square brackets after the name of my variable. Then I want to store something inside of this array, so I have to set it equal to something. So I'm going to say equals, and then I'm going to put 2 curly braces. And inside of these curly braces, I can list all of the integers that I want to be stored inside of my integer array. So I'm going to go ahead and store 5 integers inside of my integer array. So I'm going to type out 4, 6, 7, 2, 3. And basically this comma separates all of the integers from one another. So inside of this numbers array right here, I have 5 integers, 4, 6, 7, 2, and 3. And then of course I need to end this line right here with a semicolon. Alright, so now let's say that we want to access the integer 7 right here. Let's say we want to access this integer. Well, let's just go ahead and print out 7 onto the screen. So we're going to say printf modulus I, go ahead and end that line. Now to access this 7 right here, what we have to do is first find the index of this integer. And to find the index, we basically just have to count from the beginning, starting with 0. So this is the integer at the 0 index, this is the integer at the 1 index, and this is the integer at the 2 index. So 7 is at the index of 2. So now what we have to do is just type the name of our array, which is called numbers, and then after that put square brackets. And inside of these square brackets, we just need to put the index of the integer that we're trying to access. And for us, that's going to be 2, since the 7 is at the index of 2. So I'm just going to go ahead and put 2 right in there, and then go ahead and end this line. So now, when I run this program, I should get 7. Yep, there we go. Perfect. Alright, so now let's say that I wanted to access this 4. Remember, this 4 is at the index of 0. So if I wanted to access this 4, I just type 0 in there, go ahead and run this program, and we get 4 out onto the screen. Perfect. Alright, now one more thing that I should probably tell you is each one of these things inside of the array is called an element. So if we had an array of characters or an array of floats, then each thing inside of that array is still called an element. So each one of these things is called an element, and there are 5 elements inside of our numbers array right here. So let's say that we wanted to print out all of the elements inside of this numbers array right here, or all of the integers inside of this numbers array. So what we're going to do is just write a simple for loop to go through every single index that is possible inside of this array. So we need to start with 0 and end with 4. So I'm going to say for int I equals 0. Go ahead and end that line. And I'm setting I equal to 0 right here, since 0 is the lowest index inside of our integer array right here. This is the element at the 0 index, or the integer at the 0 index. Then what I'm going to do is say while I is less than 5, since there are 5 elements inside of our integer array right here. And then I'm just going to go ahead and do I++. So it'll go from 0 to 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. Alright? And then what I wanted to do is I wanted to just print out the number at that index. So I'm going to say printf modulus I, since we're printing out integers, and then I'm just going to go ahead and end that line with a /n. And then I'm going to say numbers, since that's the name of our integer array right here. And then inside of square brackets, I'm just going to put this variable called I. And then I'm just going to go ahead and end this line right here with a semicolon. Alright, so now let me just go ahead and walk through this code. So the first thing that we're doing is we're creating an integer array called numbers, and we're setting it equal to this array of numbers right here. We've got 4, 6, 7, 2, and 3. Then this for loop is basically just going to print out every single element inside of this array right here. So it's going to say integer I equals 0. And we're setting it equal to 0 since 0 is the lowest index inside of our array right here. This is the element at the index of 0. Then it's going to loop while I is less than 5 since there are 5 elements inside of our array right here. So it's just going to say int I equals 0. Then it's going to say is 0 less than 5? Yes it is. So it's going to go ahead and print out the element at the index of 0. So it's going to print out 4 onto the screen. Then it's going to go up here, increment I by 1. So I is now equal to 1. Is 1 less than 5? Yes it is. So it's going to go ahead and print out the element at the index of 1. So it's going to print out 6 on the screen. It's going to increment I by 1 again. So I is now 2. Is 2 less than 5? Yes it is. So it's going to go ahead and print out the element at the index of 2. So it's going to go ahead and print out 7. Then it's just going to keep looping until I is equal to 5. Is 5 less than 5? No it's not. So it's going to go ahead and exit the program. Alright, so now let's just go ahead and run this and make sure that it works. Out onto the screen right here, we got 4, 6, 7, 2, and 3. And those are all of the elements or all of the integers inside of our array right here. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this tutorial. So, see you guys.